very reliable sources told him that investment into Liverpool is likely over the summer. No specifics of exactly when, but looks like some good news could be on the way. This video is being brought to you with thanks to Surfshark. Surfshark is an app or browser extension that allows you to browse websites in other countries and keep you safe and secure from hackers. Surfshark allows you to virtually travel the world with just the tap of a finger. As an example, we here in Ireland can What is Afflix? We here in Ireland can watch other countries' Netflix libraries, unlock UK services such as BBC iPlayer, and of course that all-important Spanish DAZN account for football. Surfshark keeps you safe and secure by covering up everything that you do online. When your device connects to the internet, all this information is, in a way, blurred out. This is particularly effective when you're out and about on public Wi-Fi, maybe you're in college or at a cafe. It keeps your information safe and secure from hackers. With a Surfshark, just ask Surfshark. Just here, have a Surfshark. Johnny? Mildred, Surfsharks? Surfshark allow you to use unlimited devices on just one subscription, meaning if you so wish, you can grant access to your friends and family. On top of that, Surfshark offer a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you don't like it, they refund you. It is that simple. Our sign-up offer gives you a whopping 83% off. That's right, I did say 83% off and 3 months additional free. Simply scan the QR code on your screen right now or use the link in the description, putting in the code Anfield Agenda at checkout. The stuff about the investment. Now look, I don't quote Twitter much on here with regards to reliable stuff, but Alex Miller, somebody who I have a lot of time for with regards to what he posts. He said very reliable sources told him that investment into Liverpool is likely over the summer. No specifics of exactly when, but looks like some good news could be on the way. And it all kind of makes sense because we need it. The owners want it. They've spoke about the fact that they're not really interested in a sale. They are interested in bringing on an investment partner for a minority stake that they think can add value to the club and obviously free up some money for transfers. So again, if this all falls into place at the right time, it seems to make a lot of sense to me. And again, this will be where we'll get a good chunk of the money, particularly if we miss out on Champions League football next season. So yeah, I don't have any idea about who that investment could be from. Absolutely nothing. I would be purely guessing if I said it to you. But I think it is tallying in with a lot of what seems to be happening behind the scenes over the past couple of weeks anyway. So let's just wait and see on the specifics of it. But do keep an eye on Alex's account. What happened to the money being saved for generational talent? Hey, Matthew, there's nothing to say that that money isn't still there, right? But I do understand where you're coming from because we'd always been told about this, whether you were listening to Melissa Reddy's writing or The Athletic or James Pearce or The Echo or whomever. There was always this insistence that Liverpool were just, you know, squirreling away a few quid for that generational talent. And I like to think that generational talent will be Jude Bellingham. So, yeah, let's wait and see. But look, we need more than Bellingham. We can't just sit here and potentially maybe celebrate one signing. We need three minimum in central midfield. And I said I would come back to a question that somebody asked me a moment ago about who would I move on this summer. And I'm going to be really ruthless about this, so stick with me. I would move on James Milner, Jordan Henderson. I would keep Fabinho for one more year if I was getting rid of Jordan Henderson. So I'd get rid of Henderson, I'd get rid of Milner. I would get rid of Matip. I'd get rid of... It's a bit much to be looking to get rid of Costas, but I'd consider it if an offer came in. Firmino's leaving, obviously. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain's leaving. Nat Phillips, I would sell. I don't think many more, to be honest with you. I don't think I'd move on many more unless somebody like Salah or Jota or somebody turned around and said they wanted to leave. But for me, yeah, they're the ones I'd look to move on. And I know the Henderson thing is probably very, very divisive for people. And I don't say it lightly, but I just don't see how we're going to get Henderson back where we need him to be. And I'm not somebody who wants Liverpool to be paying 160, 180 grand a week or whatever it is that Henderson's on, just to have some inspirational character around the dressing room. We can't afford to be doing that. If we're paying out that much money to somebody, even at the lower end, 140 grand, say, I want them to be playing. I want them to be a regular. And I don't think Henderson has that in him anymore. And remember, he's going to be 33 next season. So For me, I'd like to see both of them moved on, and I'd like to see the refresh. And that's why I said I'd keep Fabinho in that scenario, because we are going to need a mix of experience. I'd keep Thiago on for the year remaining on his deal as well. Bring in your 3 new midfielders, supplement that with Bajcetic, Curtis Jones, Harvey Elliott, maybe Fabio Carvalho if Klopp deems him good enough. And I think we'll be all right. I think that'll be a good enough mix. If you get rid of Milner and Hendo, who would our captain be? I would give the captain's armband to Andy Robertson. I've mentioned this in a few streams recently. I don't like the idea of Van Dijk getting the armband or the vice captaincy. I don't think he needs the hassle. I don't think he needs the pressure. Maybe give the vice captaincy to Alisson if you want. But for me, Andy Robertson would be my choice to be the next Liverpool captain if I was to pick one right now. If a good offer came in for VVD, would you take it? No. No, I wouldn't. I'll be the first person to admit that Van Dijk hasn't been at his best. I'll be the first person to admit that I'm a bit concerned about where Van Dijk is at. But no, I wouldn't be selling him. Not at all. Because you've got Canada in there, and if you brought in another young centre-back, you can start to maybe manage Van Dijk's minutes a bit better. Because he plays a lot of minutes, right? We don't really pay much attention to it a lot of the time. But Van Dijk plays almost every game that he's fit and available for. I would love Caicedo, McAllister, even for 100 million. No, not at that money. We had a discussion about this in our Discord group last night, actually. Somebody seen an article that said McAllister could be available for about 60 or 70 million pound. And I think almost everybody in our Discord agreed that 70 million quid for Alexis McAllister would be way too much money. And I think the same for Caicedo, in all honesty. I think they're too inflated. Very good players, both of them, and both of them could do a job. But 70 million quid? I'm sorry, I put that up with the Mount stuff. It's just an unrealistic fee. Do you think Mount is still possible since Lampard is only there at the end of the season? Absolutely. I don't think Frank Lampard will have any impact on Mason Mount's future at Chelsea, other than maybe he'll get more minutes between now and the end of the season, because we know Frank Lampard believes that he can trust Mason Mount, and he knows what he gets from Mason Mount. So I think maybe Mount will get a better end to the season, but I don't think it'll change anything about the fact that it looks like he could leave Chelsea in the summer. Who's your Hendo replacement? In what sense? From what? What am I replacing there? Am I replacing? Are you talking about the captain, or are you talking about the midfielder? If it's the midfielder, it's actually a really good question, because I'm thinking of a starting 2 alongside maybe a Bajcetic or Fabinho in midfield. But I don't think of Henderson as a starter now. So I would think of the Henderson replacement almost as the 3rd midfielder. So there's been a few names thrown around over the past few weeks that I haven't been mad at, right? So have you seen us link back to Rodrigo de Paul again? I mean, that's a bit of a strange one. It hasn't really worked out for him and Atleti, but again, he was part of that Argentina squad that won the World Cup. Don't know if you've spoken to Craig. Did you see PSG are going for Bellingham? Yeah, best of luck, lads. Let us know how you get on there, will you? Look, there's more chance of me signing for PSG in the summer than there is of Bellingham signing for PSG in the summer. So I don't think you need to worry about that. Whatever happened with the Amrabat link, said Namont 31. So firstly, Fiorentina wouldn't sell him in the winter window. They wanted to hang on to him till the summer. And secondly, Amrabat has pretty much let it be known he'd like to move to Spain, and he fancies the idea of a move to Atleti or one of the top clubs in Spain. So I think we can rule out Sofiane Amrabat based off what his own reps have been saying about where he wants to go and play. And sometimes you just have to acknowledge that and just go, fair enough. He is a Moroccan fella. He's been playing in Italy. Obviously, if he looks at Spain, again, similar climate to where he's playing, just probably better weather. Probably just fancies the style of life more as well. And that's okay. Sometimes you just have to cut your losses and just go, fair enough. Would you sign another right back if you could? Not for one more year. I'll give it one more year. And the reason I'm going to say that is because I want to see Calvin Ramsey have a full pre-season, get some, pre-season games under his belt, and then see what Klopp wants to do. Because we still have Joe Gomez who can come across at right back. And I remember we'll be getting Connor Bradley back as well. So there are options for Jurgen Klopp to look to supplement the right-hand side if we need to. So I think we can hang on one more year to see what happens there with Calvin Ramsey and how his development gets on. Do you think Bellingham is better than Pedri or Camavinga? I mean, I don't know if they're fair comparisons. Camavinga's a baller, man. He's amazing. I've been I underrated Camavinga until I've started watching him more closely. But he's a different type of player. He's a bit more deep maybe than Bellingham. Look, the reason I want Bellingham at Liverpool so much is simple. It's not that I think he's better than one player or better than another player. I think he's very well suited to what Klopp wants from his midfielders, which is athleticism, which is power, which is energy, which is pace, which is a bit of height. The ability to get in and maybe create something in the opposition penalty area or in the final third. And if you think back to our best midfields, you know, when we had Gini, when we had Henderson, when they were at their best, they just had energy levels that went on and on and on. And that's why I think he's a perfectly suited midfielder to our system. That's why I think Declan Rice would be another perfectly suited player for our system. Again, Bellingham is a box-to-box question mark. Again, anybody can be anything. I like Bellingham could play as an 8. He could be the box-to-box. He could play sitting if he wanted to. He can do anything. So people get too hooked up on where people play now. Look at the amount of Liverpool players that Jurgen Klopp has moved around since they've come to the club. And this is going to sound really odd, but I still think of Bellingham as that Genie replacement that we never, ever, ever got. That really good, versatile midfielder that can do a little bit of everything and do it quite well. So for me, this sounds nuts, I know, because it's been a while since Genie, but we've never replaced him. Specifically his minutes and his availability.